Good morning, Little Owl parents and friends of Little Owl. Today I'm going to read some books as I would to children at morning meeting or any time that we're gathering together, small groups, big groups. Hopefully these will be some tips to help you read and have a conversation and make connections with your children when you're reading. I'm going to start with one that is a favorite of mine. If you don't like a book, don't read it. This one is one that you will be asked to read over and over again, I think. It's called The Great Fuzz Frenzy. So I'm going to start now as I would with a group of children. I brought a great book for you to see today. And it connects with me because all these little creatures on the cover of the book are called prairie dogs. And where I came from when I was a little girl was a town in North Dakota where there were lots of hills on the prairies, and these little animals would make tunnels under there. And I thought they were so cool. And sometimes they would come up and peek out of the holes. And so that's why I first liked this book, because I saw some animals I knew. It's called The Great Fuzz Frenzy. Frenzy is sort of a funny word. It means something that's really crazy. So let's see, what's really crazy? I wonder if you could tell what this book might be about just by looking at the cover. Oh, here's some more information. Huh. You see a dog. I see there's the prairie dog holes. He looks like he's trying to make friends. Let's see. The Great Fuzz Frenzy, written by Janet Stevens and Susan Stevens Cornell, illustrated by Janet Stevens. So the person who wrote this story also did all the art. Well, here's some more information before we even get to the book. I see a word saying woof. And then there's Violet, where's your ball? Uh-oh. Down it went. Bonk, bonk. Help! 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 Uh-oh. Look what's happening. That doggy dropped his ball all the way down. And the prairie dogs are scurrying around, trying to get out of the way. Run for your life! Thump, thump. Watch out below! Rumble, rumble. Oh, that ball is going down so far. Plunk. There it sat, perfectly still. The prairie dogs waited, perfectly still. Their faces look so curious to me. I wonder what they're thinking. Slowly they crept out, inch by inch, dog by dog. What is it? It's a thing. A good thing or a bad thing? Oh, it's a round thing. It's a scary thing. It's a strange thing. What should we do? Don't touch it. Shh. Is it alive? Oh, they have so many questions. Look at their curious faces. Stand back, boomed a voice. You act like gutless groundhogs, afraid of your own shadow. Oh no, it's Big Bark. Big Mouth is more like it. I thought he left town. Well, I'm back, growled Big Bart. So out of my way, let me have a look. I see that Big Bart is a lot bigger than the other prairie dogs, but I also see that he's wearing something on his head. Wonder what that could be. But before anyone could move, little Pipsqueak raced past Big Bart, reached out, and touched the big round thing. No! The crowd yelled. It's Fuzzy, said Pete. Oh! The crowd gasped. A tiny piece of fuzz was caught in Pip's claw. She looked at it, she turned it, she sniffed it, then she put it on her head. Look at me! Aw, the crowd sighed. Quit hamming it up, you half-pint hamster, snarled Big Bart. I'm in charge. Wow, he likes to be the boss of things, I think. Oh, if you look at his head very, very closely, I bet you can guess what that is. Somebody littered, and it looks like the kind of old kind of caps that they used to put on soda bottles. But those prairie dogs did not listen. They had to have fuzz. I like it. Me too. I want some. Do you? Oh yeah, so do I. So do we. So do they. Big bark, move over, get out of our way. They charged past him and they grabbed at the fuzz. Have you ever felt a tennis ball? Because that's what it is, right? It is really fuzzy. And what if you were a little tiny animal living under the ground and you never saw that before? It would be pretty magical. The prairie dogs pulled it, they puffed it, they stretched it, they fluffed it. It sort of reminds me of the wool we use when we're felting. They spiked it, they swirled it, they fuzzed their ears, their heads, their noses, they fuzzed their feet and their tails and their toeses. Big Bark was beside himself. Listen to me, you ridiculous rodents. Stop this fuzzy foolishness. Look at all the things they have figured out to do with fuzz. What do you see? Someone made a hat. Look at those silly ears. Someone made a scarf. Wow. Slippers. But those prairie dogs did not listen. They were busy being hot dogs and silly dogs, corny dogs and frilly dogs, top dogs, funny dogs, super dogs, bunny dogs. Where's a bunny dog? Oh. You're all nuts, you squirrely fuzz freaks, yelled Big Bark, and he stormed off. What do you think? How come he isn't having any fuzz? He doesn't seem like he likes to have fun, does he? Ooh, a tutu. But you can see lots of things in this picture. Oh, here goes an upside down page again. News of the fuzz spread from hole to hole, burrow to burrow. Burrows are what those tunnels are called. Town to town. And that's what prairie dogs, when they live in a community, they're called a prairie dog town. Soon prairie dogs from everywhere were coming into that fuzz. They came, they saw, and they picked. Oh my gosh, so many prairie dogs. They twisted it, they braided it, they danced, and they paraded it. It was a fuzz frenzy, a fuzz fiesta, a fuzz fandangle. The whole prairie was a buzz about fuzz. Sure, a lot of rhyming words in here, aren't there? There's that bunny again. Looks like he made himself a beard, too. They picked, and they pruned, and they pulled, and they pinched. They pinched, and they pulled, and they pruned, and they picked. The big round thing was fuzzless, naked as a plucked chicken. The fuzz had run out. Some prairie dogs got a lot of fuzz. Some got a little. Some got no fuzz at all, and they were mad. Give me that fuzz. Why? Because it's my fuzz. No, it's mine. Well, it was. Get that fuzz. Get that fuzz. Uh-oh. What do you think's happening now? Look at their faces. Some of them are getting really angry. Has that ever happened to you when you want something and there isn't any left, like maybe Play-Doh, maybe your favorite truck? Pulling, grabbing, swiping, nabbing, poking, jabbing. It was a war. War between the fuzzes and the fuzz knots. Their peaceful town was a battleground. It was a fuzz fight, a fuzz fuse, a fuzz fiasco. A lot of big words. A fiasco's like a really crazy thing too, but not in a good way, usually. I started this, moaned Big Pipsqueak. I have to do something. Everybody, stop! Stop fighting! But those prairie dogs didn't listen. The battle raged on, friend against friend, cousin against cousin, dog against dog, until no one was standing. They were pooped, fuzzled out, fast fast asleep. Hours later, the prairie dogs began to wake up. Uh-oh. Where's the fuzz? I don't know. Where'd it go? Someone has stolen our fuzz, cried Pip Squeak. Who did? He did. She did. You did. They're all trying to figure out where that fuzz went. I did, barked a voice from above. I stole the fuzz. The prairie dogs froze. Then they raced up the long tunnel. There stood Big Bark, covered with fuzz from head to toe. I'm king of the fuzz, he shouted. Do you hear me? I'm king of the... Uh-oh. Shoop. The sky went black. What do you think happened? He didn't even finish saying I'm king of the fuzz. Look at this picture. What do you think it could be? Huh. What happened? Where's Big Bark? Look! There he was, high above their heads, dangling from the talons, that's those claws, of an eagle. No more Big Bark, the crowd shouted. Yay! Don't yay. He's one of us, yelled Pip. We have to save him. How would you like to be in an eagle's lunch? How would you like to be an eagle's lunch? No, the crowd yelled. How are they going to save him? Uh-oh. Look, even his little crown fell off his hat. Oh, poor Big Bark. Even though he was mean sometimes, I don't think he deserved to be eaten by an eagle. Big Bark, wiggle, wiggle free, the prairie dog shouted. Shake loose. Hooray, hurry, we'll catch you. Big Bark twisted and turned. He wormed and squirmed. At last, he was free of the fuzz. Yay, the crowd shouted. Big Bark fell faster and faster. No, the prairie dogs scattered. Get back here, yelled Peep. Quick, make a circle, hold out your paws. They ran left, they ran right, then left, and here they all are. Plop. You saved me, Big Bark cried. But I stole your fuzz. Now it's gone forever. Good, said Pip Squeak. Fuzz is trouble, right? Yeah, the crowd think. Friend hugged friend, cousin hugged cousin, dog hugged dog. We don't need fuzz, said Pip, but with the eagle around, we do need somebody watching with a big, what do you think a big, with a big bark. Big Bark rose up on his hind legs. Eagle's back, bark, bark, bark. This is not a test, bark, bark, all dogs below, bark, bark. So there they go. Uh-oh. Look at this page. It goes way down. So here they all are. The prairie dogs raced down, 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 down the tunnels. Wow. This is... Whew, we made it. That was close. 3 cheers for Big Bark, the best watchdog ever. Yip, yip, yay! Yip, yip, yay! Yip, yip, yay! Just doing my job, Big Bark smiled. Are we ever going to get tangled up with that fuzz again? Cried Pip Squeak. No, the crowd yelled. No more fuzz, no more fuzz. From that day forward, the prairie dogs lived happily and fuzzlessly ever after. Uh-oh. That dog named Violet is back. What do you think happens next? So before we move on, I wanted to say a few things about this book. It's fun to read, especially if you like to be a ham. If you're reading with one child, it's a great book to slow down and look at all the words. If maybe it's an older child, look at all the F words in here. Look at all the words that they might not know. Look at all the words, the alliteration in it. Just fun stuff. Have fun with character voices. Don't be afraid to ham it up a little. Kids love that. But don't ever do it in cutesy voice. You know, just be real. Whatever your personality is. I'm a little over the top, but you might enjoy at least trying to figure out who's Big Bart's voice. This next one is a great book about family connections, and I love it because it's about a grandfather and his grandchildren, and the freedom to go out in the rain, even on rainy days. I mean, go out in the garden even on rainy days. It's called Rainbow Stew by Catherine Falwell. Rainbow Stew by Catherine Falwell. I see rainbows. Oh, I see a rainbow in there. Definitely a rainy day. I like the art in this book. It looks like it might be a collage. Some of it looks like it's cut out. Some of it looks like it might be painted. I like to figure out how artists do their art in books. Stretch, wiggle, sniff and giggle. We scramble from our beds. Grandpa's making pancakes for his favorite sleepyheads. We love to visit Grandpa. It's always so much fun. He lets us play outside all day, so we can jump and run. Hey, have you already noticed something about this book? I'm seeing a lot of rhymes. I see, it's almost so much fun. He lets us play outside all day, so we can jump and run. So fun and run are fun rhyming words. He looks like he makes pretty good pancakes. Whimper, sigh, cloudy sky. Is it too wet to play? We don't want to stay inside because of rain today. The boys look like they wanted to play soccer. Grandpa smiles and says to us, I know what we can do. Let's go and find some colors for my famous rainbow stew. Splish, splash, puddle dash. We bounce right out the door. We're off to find some red and green, some yellow, orange, and more. Yeah, there's some more rhyming words, door and more. Grandpa showed us how to move between each garden row, lifting up the drippy leaves to see where colors grow. I wonder if you can see any colors in this so far. I see a few, but I bet you could see more than me even. Drip, drop, shake, and hop. There are lots of greens. There's spinach, kale, and cucumbers, zucchini, peas, and beans. You think of any other green vegetables? We find some yellow peppers and a purple cabbage head. We tug up on rosy radishes and pop them from their bed. Oh, that little boy is really getting into it. It looks like you guys when you're playing in the mud. He's just sitting there, slip, slide, squishy stride. We snip off red tomatoes. We dig into the dirt, the dark, wet dirt, and pull out brown, you see, potatoes. We jump around like grasshoppers and buzz about like bees. We creep along like ladybugs, and we all get muddy knees. Sometimes you have to get close to the ground to see where things are growing. Pull, pick, gather quick. We need more for the stew. Grab some orange carrots and a purple eggplant too. Look at all those vegetables. I wonder, have you ever been in the garden in the rain? It would be sort of fun, wouldn't it? Our basket's full of colors. We park it by the door. Our clothes and boots are dripping, making puddles on the floor. Boy, they don't look sad now, do they? Grandpa helps us wash our hands and dries our soggy hair. It's almost time to cook, he says, so find dry clothes to wear. I wonder did you see two words do you hear two words that rhymed in this one? Grandpa helped to wash our hands and dry our soggy hair. It's almost time to cook, he says, so find dry clothes to. I think you're gonna get it. Where? Peel, slice, chop, and dice. Colors fill the pot. Stir in herbs and water, and then wait till it gets hot. Can you just smell that? You know how when you're making soup or when Chef Sean's making soup, you can smell it all over the school? I bet it's smelling good in their house. Grandpa says he's proud of us. We're such terrific cooks. And while the stew is heating, we have time to read some, you got it, books. Howl, yowl, tummies growl, we're a hungry bunch. It's time to serve up heaping bowls of rainbow stew for lunch. I wonder if Chef Sean could make rainbow stew. We'd have to have lots more vegetables in our garden, huh? Yum, 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 yum. And, oh, this is a special treat. In the back, there is how to make rainbow stew. It tells all the vegetables, how to cook it, how much to cook it. It's a recipe, just like the recipe Chef Sean uses and your parents use. If you'd like to try this rainbow stew, maybe we could make a copy of it for you. And I rhyme stew with you.